Yes, well, I have to say I assumed. I hardly thought. I mean, you were young enough, for God's sake. I hardly thought you lived the life of a nun.
You wish.
You thought I was jealous.
You did tear that painting from the wall.
I did not tear it. As God is my witness, I did not remove it. It fell.
Oh yes, I see. Pure coincidence. This picture that happened to be painted by someone of whom you did not approve.
Colin, the original art school wanker, the greasy beard and the clogs.
Who painted me at college, as I felt, rather beautifully.
Rather beautifully, but wearing no clothes.
That was the point. You couldn't stand it. You saw me there on the wall.
It's true. I looked at it. I just looked at it. I sent beams of hatred from across the room, and without my touching it, I admit it fell down.
Oh, sure.
Let's face it. I mean, it wasn't just the image of you. I mean, it just wasn't the sight of you. It was my disbelief, my horror that this young woman who seemed so smart, so clever,
Thank you.
should have had the clothes ripped off her as if they were tissue as soon as some phony used the word art. I thought you were gullible.
No, I was open-minded. And what's more, 20 years younger than you and living a life. You know, you actually tried to give me a lecture.
No.
You did. You said, in a way, you're part of the family. In a way, Kira, it's like you're a daughter of mine.
I did not say daughter.
Oh, but you did.
Where was this?
That ghastly hamburger restaurant you had at the time. You're in your char-grilled hamburger phase.
Oh, God. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of that lecture. I'm ashamed of the burgers as well.
Oh, the burgers and the lecture!
It begins to come back.
I thought, oh yes. I see. I realized then. Here we go.
What?
I thought, hold on. This is it. It's only going to be a matter of time.
Pressing on. You know, that's the thing in business. My chairman keeps on telling me never look back. He says that business, it was created this morning. No such thing as the past. He says that modern management asks you to take a look at your assets. Really look at them. You know, it's a fierce competitive world. All that crap. Doesn't matter how you got here. The only story is, what do you do now?
And what do you do?
Oh, expand, inevitably. Expand. I hardly need to say that. You know, defend market share, build another stainless steel restaurant, but larger, more fashionable than ever. It need never end.
Nor will it. You love it.
It's true. I must admit, I do love it. You know, when I look back, I must admit, I can't deny it. When Alice was in that room, it was true for me. It was true for me. I saw no other alternative but to redouble my efforts. It was like some lunatic board game. Not helped, of course, by your having quit. I must say, I missed you professionally.
Thank you.
I kind of missed you in person as well. I really did, Kira. I never got used to it, ever.
What missed me so much? It's taken you 3 years to get back in contact.
Oh, now look.
Come on, let's be serious.
You think I haven't wanted to? God, you think I haven't wanted to call? To pick up the telephone? To jump in my car and bust through that bloody door?
But then why didn't you?
Kira, why do you think? Because I knew once I saw you, I would be finished. I knew once I saw you, I would never be able to leave.
I must say that's an answer.
Well, you see.
What?
I'm getting better, aren't I?
Getting better at what?
Talking about my feelings. You always said I had no gift for that stuff.
As far as I remember, we had no need for it. We had no need to talk about our feelings at all. At least I didn't. I always knew what you were feeling. Never had to be said. You'd wander around the office in Chelsea. and we go home to work. We'd sit in the kitchen with Alice. I'd spend the evening reading to your kids.
I could never understand it. I still don't. I mean, you never ever felt any betrayal, not a sense of it.
There we are. I always felt profoundly at peace. I don't know why it is. It still seems true to me. If you have a love that you can't admit, your heart is with someone that you can't tell anyone, not a single soul except the other person involved, then to me, that is love at its purest. Because for however long it lasts, it is always a relationship founded in trust.
It seems mad to me.
I know you never understood it. Why I was able to go on seeing Alice. Why we were always at ease. Why I loved her so much. But I did. It's a fact. The three of us gave me a feeling of calm. You were the person I fell in love with. As it happened, you arrived with a wife. Do you mind?
Do I mind what?
No, I'm just asking.
What?
I'm asking, will you grate the cheese?
Are you serious? Is this what you're calling the cheese?
It is.
I wouldn't give this greasy lump of crud to my cat. I don't believe it, Kira. Are you really living like this? For God's sake, I have this supplier.
I'm sure.
For cheese, for all types of cheese. He's a really good bloke.
Of course. Your whole life is great blokes.
I could get you a delivery. No problem. He'd send you all kinds of fresh parmesan.
Nevertheless.
I'm going to get Frank.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to call down to Frank. I mean, this is ridiculous. To send out just for now, just to get us something at the deli for now.
Hang on. What do you say? You saying Frank is sitting out there?
Sure.
Waiting in the car this whole time we've been talking?
Yes. For Christ's sake, what's wrong with that?
You would leave him down there? I mean, you really are quite extraordinary.
Why?
You used to tell me you had this great gift. I remember you prided yourself on what you call your man management skills, and yet you still treat people as if they're little better than objects.
For God's sakes, Kira, the man is a driver. I mean, that's what he does. You know full well drivers don't drive. The greater part of their lives they spend waiting.
Tom, there is some sort of limit.
And furthermore, that's what they expect. Let me tell you, Frank, as it happens, is perfectly happy. Frank, for a start, is bloody well paid. I mean, he's sitting out there in a spacious limousine, listening to Kiss 100 and reading what is politely called a men's interest magazine.
Have you looked out the window? Have you seen the weather? Have you seen that snow about to come down?
Don't give me that tosh. Frank is a bloody sight better off sitting in a warm Mercedes than he would be in this fucking fur store which you call your home. I mean, you know what? I mean, this is it. I mean, this was always the problem. I mean, that was the problem. I mean, you know what? I mean, this ridiculous self-righteousness. I mean, to be fair, you always had it. But also, I knew it wasn't going to get better. And let's face it was only going to get worse once you decided you wanted to teach.
It has nothing to do with my teaching. It has nothing to do with the work that I do. It's just a way of respecting people.
Frank isn't people. I mean, Frank is a man doing a job. I mean, you were always salving your own bloody conscience. I mean, these stupid gestures. I mean, nothing to do with what people might want. I mean, they want to be treated, respected like adults for a job that they are paid for. Not looked down on as if they were somehow chronically disabled, as if they needed help all the time. I mean, you know what? This is the craziness. That's it. That's the craziness with you. I mean, you never understood business. You never did. You never could get that straight. I mean, finally, my goodness, I mean, that's why you had to leave.
Well, I must say, I never knew that was the reason.
I'm sorry.
I never knew that was why I had to leave.
I put it badly.
Badly? You did. I thought I had to leave because your wife found out I'd been sleeping with you for over 6 years.
I mean, well, yes, that did play a part in it.
I should say it fucking well did.
It played a part in it.
Part of? Part of?
But you never ever got your attitude towards business straight.
Oh,
I mean,
well.
what I'm saying is you would have left anyway, I know. I mean, I could sense it. I mean, you know what? You thought it was time for a change, I knew it.
Tom, I left because I always told you, if Alice finds out, then I shall go.
I know you did.
I told you 1,000 times.
I know you did.
We can only do this for as long as Alice doesn't find out. When she found out, it changed things. Instantly.
Instantly, says it. You were gone in an hour. Wham, out the door. With me left handling all the other employees.
Oh, really?
I don't think anyone was very convinced.
I had no choice. I know it sounds stupid, but you have something worked out in your mind. And then something changes. The balance is gone. You no longer believe in your own story. And that, I'm afraid, is the moment to leave. I heard you moved.
Yes, that happened quite quickly. We moved when Alice started to get ill.
How long was her illness? How long was her illness?
Well, let's see. I mean, she was in the bed in the bad bit. I suppose it was getting on for a year. I mean, we'd known for quite some time. You know, she started to feel dizzy. I mean, she didn't take no notice at first. I mean, you know, we were in such a total state of confusion. I mean, at that time, things were already so tough. So the news of the illness, I mean, to be honest, at first, when we first found out, it seemed like kind of a joke. How much misfortune, and so on. You know, where are the gods? I mean, yet she needed a place that she could be peaceful. I mean, I built her this bedroom. It was an extraordinary bedroom. You know, that builder, the one that I mentioned, I mean, with this wonderful sloping glass roof, I mean, the common outside, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, we gave her the picture she wanted, exactly what she wanted to see. Then she became quite mystic. I mean, you know, I don't mean to sound cruel, but it was kind of difficult for me.
In what way?
Well, I mean, you know Alice. I mean, she got a hold of this bloody word spiritual. You know, it's one of those words I've never quite understood. You know, I've always hated the way that people use it. I mean, I think that they use it just to sort of, you know, kind of bump themselves up. You know, like I've had some sort of a spiritual experience, they say. You know, I mean, as if that's the end of the argument, right? I mean, like, it's mine and shove off. I actually think that people use it, you know, to make them seem more sensitive. You know, I do. I actually do. I mean, I think they try to dignify quite ordinary things with it. Now, religion. Now that's something different. I like religion. I do. You know, I mean, it's got rules. I mean, it's actually based on something that occurred. I mean, there's something to believe in. I mean, you know, I mean, it's also one of the reasons why it's worth following. I mean, not that I do, mind you, but there's some expectation of how you're meant to behave. But spiritual, I mean, it's all wishy-washy. I mean, you know what it means? It means, for me, it's terribly important, but I am fucked if I know why. You know,
Is that how Alice was?
Oh, I don't mean to downgrade it. I mean, you know, Alice was dying. I mean, you know. I mean, look, I mean, let's face it. I mean, jeez, I mean, she grabbed at whatever she could. But it was just grabbing, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it was solid. It wasn't like she really believed. I mean, you'd ask Alice, tell me something, what do you really believe in? I mean, she couldn't say. I mean, she'd always say, well, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I thought it was all just sensation. I think that's what it was. I really do. I do. I'm not very good at this.
Yes. Tom, surely that's not so unusual.
I know.
That's how most people die. They die in that state, half knowing, not knowing. Surely that's what you'd expect.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? I knew it was a beautiful room. I mean, it was a beautiful room. I mean, which it should be. I mean, I'm not being wholly facetious, but the fact is, I spent a great deal of money. I spent a great deal. I mean, I'm not kidding. I spent a great deal of money. I mean, all that glass, the sandalwood floor, the sky, the greenery, the light. I mean, I gave her everything.
What you say?
I don't know. I just felt out of contact. I felt frustrated.
What you're saying is the two of you never got straight.
No.
What you mean is you never got over your guilt.
Guilt? I mean, guilt's another word. It's one of those words people use. I mean, sure, in a way. I mean, yes, I mean, I can hardly deny it. I mean, both of us knew, both Alice and me, we knew our time together was wrecked. But Alice was far too proud to reproach me. And then, of course, being Alice, she began to withdraw. Gardening, sewing, reading, all those feminine things. I mean, the effect to make me feel much worse than if she'd stood up and fought. I mean, she kept on saying, Tom, you know, you go on with your life. I mean, we're such different people. I mean, that's what she said. Don't mind me, forget me. I'm happy reading and gardening. Christ fucking gardening. I mean, if I could make it illegal, I would. I mean, you know what? I mean, she'd say to me, you know, quite quietly, she'd say to me, Tom, you know, for a man like you, I mean, Kira's much more intelligent. I mean, she'd praise you, always. Kira's much more attractive, she's clever, she's smart. I mean, she would actually say that. I'm much too docile, I know. I mean, Jesus, I look back on that time in our lives. My own wife telling me in absolute tones of sweetness how right I was to love someone else. And what's more, what a good choice. And then when she got ill, you know, I think, yes, I mean, this must be some sort of punishment. I mean, do you always punish the meek? I mean, Alice's frame of mind, my gosh, it was taken from her. Her friendship with you. I mean, she's just beginning to absorb this, and then she's told that she's going to die.
And now? What are you feeling?
You know, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I do feel all right. I feel all right. I do feel all right. I found a way of coping. I mean, you know, in the way that you do. I mean, you know, I've got the business. I mean, I've got the house. I mean, a woman came. I didn't tell you this. A woman came to the door. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, she told me, you know, that she'd come to help me to grieve. I said, I beg your pardon. She said, don't worry, it's not going to cost you. It's on the rates or the poll tax or whatever it's called. And I think, oh great, this is wonderful, this is fabulous. I'm going to mourn my wife in the company of an absolute stranger. After all, it's going to be free. I mean, look, I said, lady, don't you know, I'll tell you one thing, when I choose to grieve for this woman who I've spent a large part of my life with, I will not be doing it in the presence of a representative of Wimbledon Council. She said, oh, don't worry, we're not there now, we're in Merton. I mean, Christ! I mean, don't they know anything? I mean, you know what, you suffer. I mean, that's what you do. You suffer. I mean, there are no easy ways, and I've done my share of suffering.
Yes. I know that. That's what I've heard.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I talked to Edward.
Edward?
That's right.
When? When did you talk with Edward?
Shit. I think the past is going to be done.
For Christ's sake, forget about the past.
Oh, God! I think it's
What
going
are
to
you
be
saying?
ruined.
Have you kept on seeing Edward?
No. He's only been over here once.
When?
As it happened this evening. Told me you've been impossible. He says that you still can't live with yourself and that you spend your whole day in a fury.
A fury? What fury?
He says that you're totally lost.
How dare he? How dare he come here and talk about me?
He came out of kindness. He came because he is concerned for his father.
Concerned for his father? Concerned? Like fuck! He came here because he's a little shit stirrer. That's why. He likes to make other people's business his own.
I mean, this is it! I mean, shit! I have heard you, Tom. You've done this your whole bloody life!
Done what?
Pretended! Pretended not to understand. Pretended when you understand perfectly well.
Understand what?
You've taken this boy.
I've taken him.
You've taken your son, Edward. You've made his life miserable. He came, he told me. I mean, you had a row. For God's sake, earlier this week he left home.
So?
So you're making his life unendurable. And only because you happen to be so bloody guilty.
Me?
Yes, and you take your guilt out on him.
Is that what I do?
It is.
Ah, I see. That's his opinion, is it?
I think so.
Ah. That's his version.
He didn't need to say it. I lived with your family, remember? But Edward is young. He needs his father. He deserves honesty. He deserves not to be treated like dirt.
That's not fair.
Oh, isn't it?
It isn't one-sided. Okay, I can be hard on the boy.
Oh, and why?
Because he's such a jerk.
Oh, come on, Tom!
All right! It's true, I couldn't face Alice. Not at the end. Any excuse. I went traveling. I opened up hotels abroad, New York, Los Angeles. The further the better. Do you think I don't know it? Do you really think I don't know it? But Jesus, I could not stay in that bloody room. All right, I'm not proud of it. We both knew what was happening. But I just couldn't. I mean, I couldn't fight it. I mean, I kept on thinking, I'm like, this is not a test. It's not. What's happening is chance. I mean, it's pure chance. But I couldn't fight it. I mean, I kept on thinking, what's everybody thinking? I mean, I know what a friends thought. I mean, this is some sort of trial of my character. And no doubt the bastards are saying that I failed. But Edward failed just as badly, but in a different way. I mean, I came home, 6 friends of his lying on the floor, drinking Heineken, drugs, shit, I don't know. I mean, I got so angry. I mean, I felt this anger, I just never got over it. I mean, every day I got up in this fury. I mean, this fury that you had walked out and left us.
I had no alternative. I had to get out of Alice's way. I had to make a life of my own.
But Kira, is this the life that you've made? I mean, would you tell me, please? What exactly are you doing?
Are you going to go down to see Frank then?
What shall I tell him?
Send him away.
Gone. I'm back, Kira.